It's a mandatory payday at Aqueduct this Saturday. I'm sending out the bat signal. The pick five is locked and loaded for races 5 through 9. So let's strategize. Hello, welcome back to Billy Ho Sports. The pick five video, that means your split the pot draw, is today. We're covering races 5 through 9, and we're going to build that pick five ticket on about a $50 budget. If you're new to the channel, check the description for all the details. If you want to get into future split the pot draws, basically it's a free $20 bet for loyal subscribers, people leaving comments, helping support Billy Ho Sports. So get all into that for me. Click that like button while you're at it. Give me your best bet of the week. Is single, exotics play, whatever you want to do. We're going to get into it right now, so let's go. Okay, race number 5 kicks off. You can see right here the mandatory pay pick 5. That's what we're looking at. So, mile and a half on the turf. This is the Turf Classic. We have covered videos like this all week long. Most of them have their own full analysis and breakdown, but just to briefly cover, we basically came to the conclusion that any one of these 5 horses have a chance to win this race. El Cordobes for Charlie Appleby is a super strong competitor. We saw how good he was in the Sword Dancer going the same distance at Saratoga. So he's had a freshening since then. This is his prep to lead to the big one coming out in at Del Mar. Redistricting, another big monster for Chad Brown and Flavian Pratt hookup. This one's another tough one. UN at Monmouth twice, actually. Seabiscuit, I mean, he's got good results all the way down the board. So would be one that could garner some interest. Obviously, Rebels Romance is probably the one to beat. I don't know for sure how much he'll get bet down, but he is a 2-time Breeders' Cup Turf champion, and he has plenty of good experience, except for the time that he came over to Aqueduct. You can see this one time. He ran in this race a couple of years ago and finished 4th. So was off the board that one time, but you can see even money favorite already. That's going to be tough. We're going to have to try to beat him, but you can see the odds 3-1, 7-2, even money. Rebel Red is the longest shot in the race, and I don't think it's a bad horse at all. Sired by Frankel, definitely has some good pedigree on the male side. Just missed by a half length in the Sword Dancer. Rebel Red is that left eye blind horse we've discussed on previous ones, like when they ran in these 2 stakes races at Churchill Downs in the spring and summer. Wasn't very good in the United Nations. Bumped at the start. Sometimes if he needs the right trip, that's kind of why he's tough to handle. Harder to ride. But Jose aboard, I really feel good about that. Farbridge is the horse that I'm rooting for. I feel like a good bounce back is coming. This horse is 4-1. That's really nice compared to the rest of these. Because I think he's got just as equally a chance to win as Rebel Romance does. So what we're going to do on leg 1 of the pick 5 is we're clicking the all button because it's just this. You want to get that first leg. Everybody wants to do that. There's only 5 horses. We got plenty of chances to single and make that ticket manageable. So we're going all in on leg 1. So let's go to race 6 and see what we got. Leg 2 is the Woodward. Now, if you did watch the Woodward video, you would know that I was in on Phileas Fog. I don't think that Locked is going to get the setup to close that he needs to. Willie Dees is not in this race. Willie Dees is going to run in the Lukas Classic at Churchill Downs. Makers already confirmed that. So that, to me, spells even more of a pace discrepancy. So you have Post Time, who's obviously a closer. Willie Dees was going to be some speed. You can see the front end speed on this one. So we've lost that in the race. Then you have Film Star, who's kind of meh. 20-1 long shot. You have Gould's Gold that could default, but he's only a 4 out of 8 as far as wanting to lead. So he's more one that'll fall back in line. And then you've got the lone speed, Phillies Fog, and then you have Locked. Is Locked going to get that set up? I don't think so. Now that there's not that much pressure, because Phillies Fog chased that rabbit in this one and wasn't able to hold on going 1.25 miles. This is a major league cutback. I think he could just run whatever fractions he wants to run out front as long as they're not insanely fast. I mean, he ran a +18 down here going 1.125 miles in the slop or in the mud. So, I mean, he can jam. And this is a good distance for him. So that's my single. We are going number 6, Phileas Fog, for the single in leg 2. You guessed it. The bat signal's out. Commissioner Gordon sent the message, and the man is here swinging into action. It's time for the split the pot draw. Here are the rules if you're not familiar. I spin the wheel 3 times. First name up wins the bet. The next 2 names are alternate entries. That means you have till 2 p.m. Saturday to contact me via my email, which I'll give out momentarily. So if the winner fails to contact, then the first AE is up, then the second AE is up. So I believe we had a second AE got in it last week. So not always that first winner. So if your name's drawn, reach out regardless. Let me know. David, I think it was David, but can't remember. He was third in line, but he reached out anyway, and he could have got it. But it happens all the time. So anyway, without further ado, spin the wheel, Joker. Congratulations. It's at Grandeur, Delaware, winner of the $20 bet. So to claim your prize, email me at BILLYAH35 at yahoo.com. It'll be going across on the ticker. Your first alternate is Mr. David Trudell. So you moved up a slot from last week. Second alternate is going to be Frank B, T9L. So Grandeur, Delaware has till 2 p.m. Saturday to contact me, or it defaults to the next one. David will most likely reach out. He did last time. So feel good about that. Now let's continue with race number 7. So race number 7 is sandwiched in between the stakes action. It's a mile and a 16th affair on the outer turf. It's a maiden K for fillies 2-year-olds foaled in New York State and approved by the New York State Bred Registry. Alrighty then. This is going to be a race that I'm not going to give you like a pick for the actual race itself. Maybe I'll throw out a few things along the way, but first thing I always do here is I typically want to fade I rely on prime power. I typically fade first time starters, and then I just go from there. And that kind of narrows down the field. And when I see a discrepancy of a horse that gets a 97 in prime power and the leaders are in the 130s, that's just an automatic fade for me. 51 speed figure got crushed. So the one's out. Ryan Elizabeth got crushed by 33 with a 37 speed figure, 78, even worse. My Boston Beauty is the third horse, 113, a little bit better. Got a few results, but got beat by 6 lengths in all 3 affairs. Did stretch it out to the mile and the 16th and got it going a little bit, but that, I mean, a ground saving trip and to no avail. So that one is going to be just maybe an exotics only. Like I said, I'll mention a few horizontal bets here, but the 4 is the first horse, 6-1 morning line, second in prime power, 3 races under his belt. Etna, her daddy was a sprinter, but I think maybe stretching out. It does say improve at the longer distance. But Bo Liam was a really good 7.5 furlongs. So it's not that big of a deal to stretch it out to about 8.5 might be the limit, but we'll see what happens. Pretty good results in the 2 turf races that she's gone into. The nice 85 here, and then the inner turf probably didn't fare as well on the inner turf. I don't know, but has run in both inner turf and outer turf. So maybe the outer turf at Aqueduct this time around makes a difference, but the 4 is one you can think about. Then you have Starship Ava, who is a first-time starter, so I'm just going to automatically fade that one. And then in addition, then you have a poor first-time start record with 5%, so that even adds to it, even though the breeding does suggest she likes grass. But Spectacular Bell is a pretty decent one, 120 on the power rankings. I looked at the 6, but I just can't see the improvement in the race 2. But getting Jose Ortiz aboard is a big plus. So don't know if that'll affect the odds, but 12-1 morning line would be a nice exotic to use underneath. Got really good second career numbers for Jeremiah Englehart. So this is one I would definitely include in exotics. But I did have to take a few stands here. Solomon Beauty, obviously, one you could have looked at, but Bruce Brown, I didn't like the connections. 20-1 morning line got beat pretty bad, 63-1 in that race. So I'm out on that. Now here we get to a couple of solid contenders here. This one's number 1 in prime power, Living the Breeze. The closer, who actually ran a very good race on this inner turf here, was handling those tight turns pretty well, going a mile and 16th, actually busted through the middle. She was actually keen early on, tossing her head around a little bit. So I think maybe if she's a little bit more mature, I do pay attention sometimes to when they're born. Like this one was born actually in the middle of April, a mid-April foal, which is pretty late in the game for 2-year-olds. That's I mean, the difference between one fold in like February or January and one fold in April could be the difference between, a teenager and an 11-year-old, just just a maturity difference. And that's just kind of I'm trying to make an analogy on that as how they exponentially grow in those few months when they turn two, and especially in their 3-year-old seasons. So Living the Breeze didn't get it done, but was very good. So you got to consider must use. Obviously, Flavian Pratt aboard is getting after it. So Abreu not messing around here. Give me the best turf rider you got. Flavian Pratt's it. Now, James Ryerson brings in Cosmic Candy Girl. This one's coming in off a big, a nice effort when it got pulled off on the muddy track to close within one in the debut, and then a really, really good race in that same race that I watched a couple of times because I noticed the Cosmic Candy Girl was in that race as well. So I watched this race more than once, Living the Breeze, busted out down the stretch and took that half length lead, but then Cosmic Candy Girl came up from the inside and just went right by him, but lost the ultimate head bob to I forgot who this was, but it's not in the race anyway. But Brief Steady right here at the 3/16 pole was, I mean, ready to fire through there, and then kind of ran into a bit of just a pause, just enough. So I think Cosmic Candy Girl would have gotten the maiden victory right here had it not been for that. And it was a really big early speed, a really nice early pace for them to run at coming home. So I think both of those look very, very good for your tickets. Now, consider it city. I did consider it, but didn't get there. I mean, a nice second place finish in the maiden. So you could include 124 in the prime power is the fourth choice, but you got to start taking some stands. I couldn't go more than three. If I can go three deep, I would go 4, 8, 9. So let's see if I go back to 4. Let me confirm that was the one I was looking at. Let's see, 4. Well, you could go 4 or you could go 9. One or the other. I'm going 8, 9 basically. If it's off the turf, you definitely want to look at right before we switch over here. You want to look at factory setting right here, because if it's main track only, obviously the 16 would draw in as well. But these two horses would be definitely worth the use. Now let's go over to race number 8, the Gallant Bloom. This one is a very interesting one. People will point out that Our Disaster has the speed, likes the lead, will be full send out of the gate with Jose aboard, and nothing wrong with that. I mean, get her done. Get out of the gate fast, going 6.5 furlongs. This one is 3-year-olds and upward, fillies and mares. And it's got the best numbers, got the fastest speed, so should be able to get to the lead. Definitely a must use, but will probably be 3-1 morning line's not bad, but probably going to get some play. And not many better on the dirt sprinters than Safi Jr. She was nailed twice, going 6.5, like at the Vagrancy earlier this year. But I think that those were against better horses. Hall and Ice actually won that race and then went right back to win again. I like that key race. This one just hasn't run a bad race. So 6 wins, 5 seconds, and 11 starts. You have to have her, I should say. Now Impel getting some play. Flavian Pratt, Brad Cox, obviously back-to-back wins. She ran a slow 87 in this crawling 25 and 50 splits. That's just really slow, but did get it done. Got to give her credit for that. The previous race, much better. Definitely got in here, was boxed in a little bit, and had to zigzag down the stretch. Giroux was zigzagging back and forth, looking for that lane, and then finally came. Those were both going 8 furlongs, so we're cutting back in distance here. I don't know if that's going to be beneficial or not. So very strong effort, strong horse. You'll want to look at the 2 for sure. Patricia Ann, 20-1 morning line. I did look at a little bit, but I just couldn't get there, going back to the dirt after a failed turf effort. So not looking at it because I really like Scalable. Todd Pletcher. The one issue I did have was coming off the break, the debut in January was a really lights out performance in this Black Stakes race at 99 at Aqueduct, going 7, and then they shelve her. So I don't know if Pletcher was like, "Oh, she's good. I think we'll bring her back in at the end of September, and then run her." But he's always really good with having them ready, even though you might look at the works and say, "Well, the works don't look that good," but he's just he's one of the goats for a reason. So 6 in prime power, 6-1 scalable is going to be good odds. I don't think people are going to play her at 8 months. She was really good to me down here in the middle of the spring last year, or summer, I should say, both Monmouth and the OC at the Churchill Downs. So Sterling Silver's another one you got to look at using. Don't know why they went with the turf. Billy Mott knows what he's doing. It was a pretty decent run down the stretch, so maybe she got something out of that. Maybe he didn't much care for the Johnstone with the 88 speed figure. I can see that, but it was a -10, -12 pace that was too far back. And once my main squeeze was cut loose, that was it. So Alvarado had really not much of a chance to catch. So going to 6.5, where you have two wins at the distance, 5, 4, and 3 at Aqueduct, strong Aqueduct record. So must include as well. Definitely thought about all class with Linda Rice, solid second behind Our Disaster going 6. She tried hard, just fell short. I think maybe the off track is what she's looking for. Another win in the slop back in May, and then just some middling results in OC territory before that. Did get a win going 6.5 right here on the fast by 5. So definitely does have both going her way. So definitely some nice odds on the 6. So check back Saturday, and we'll see if maybe this would be one that I would include if one of my other ones is scratched. Street View. I tried to get a good look at it, but really just lowly claimer makes good, so to speak. Sold for 140K at auction and was just like a claimer. I forget what the original price was, like 20K, $20,000 claimer. They flipped into 140, so pretty good there. But I'm not going there. Senza Parole is one I'll definitely look at. Great debut last August with the big win, and then they kind of poo-pooed this second or this debut. You can see almost a year to the date last August, where she was out there running a pretty good clip, going 6 furlongs and stretched it out to 4. But that Roswell made this unprecedented type of stretch run and just blew right by her before she could get to the wire. She really had it her own way. And when it says nailed, I just accept that and move on. And I say second off the layoff, he's 27%, 29% beaten favorite. So you definitely want to have you some Senza Parole in there. Excuse me. Now, Sunday Girl is the one I would use underneath. Katie Davis. Katie Davis is getting it done on this one. She wins. She's got tons of wins on this horse. So good on her for sticking with it and getting it done. But I just don't think, I think she's mismatched here. I think this is just a lot of state bred and a lot of you can see the state breds is where she performs pretty well. And then you got the OC company, but the correction was a pretty good one as well. Won by a nose. So St. Benedict's Prep's pretty good one. So does have some speed. I wouldn't be surprised if she hits the board, but I'm not going to use her on the ticket. So for race 8, we are spreading out because I just have a feeling it could go anyway. So I think I got 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 8 for that one. So now we go to race number 9 is the Vosburgh. I did see a comment on one of our viewers. I believe it was Frank made a good point on the Vosburgh. If you watch the previous video, you kind of know where I stand on this one. I went through and I like Scotland. I think the sprinter, I think the sprinting was a good move, moving them to that company. Nothing but 90s, mid 90s, upper 90s, good 98 in the forego. Strong inside post, could get a good trip. And Junior and Mott formidable. So Scotland looks good. Nash could fire. He doesn't. He seems to throw in a clunker every now and then fires. Then gets beat by in a 3-horse field. Runs in a bunch of optional claimers and doesn't win them all. Had a terrible opening trip in the Woody. I forgive that. Ran really well in last year's Pat Day Mile to seize the gray. So it's kind of tough to call what this horse is going to do. So wouldn't hurt to include at 6-1. I don't know how the horse will be bet, but Flavian Pratt picks up the mount, which is a huge plus. Pratt rode the back in Fairgrounds, rode him once. That was the one he lost to Tuscan Sky in that 3-horse race I mentioned. So I don't know what that's worth. But then you have Super Chow. I think the one that I would probably use underneath only. Recent form is So-So versus Lesser. Is 5 for 5 in the money at the Big A. That's why I would use underneath. So circle that one for an exotics play. Doc Sullivan, I think's got a shot. John Ortiz claimed him back in March, cashed in on the first race, has a 3-3-2 record at Aqueduct in 10 starts. Magilla Gorilla is a pass. Baby Yoda is going to be a pass also. I think 7 years old, put in for the tag, got claimed by the Gotham crime boss, Robert Falcone, who's keeping up with our Batman themed Gotham City references. Baby Yoda was good to me in the past, but I think maybe the best is past. I think the 7-year-old season is kind of showing up. Got crushed in the Vanderbilt, and then they put him in for a tag right after that and wins the race going 7, which was a nice race. And then, like I said, gets claimed first after claim. Falcone is definitely good. Would be a sentimental favorite. Might take more money than he should, but I'm going to pass. Like the way I'm passing on. Patriot Spirit is one that I could look at. Number 1 in prime power. Speed figures look pretty good. Had a pretty easy trip at Colonial, but does show some versatility and sort of a lack of early speed. Could leave him defaulted on the lead. So you never know once they get loose on the lead. So one you might want to include in case that happens. But here is my stand, my dude. I'm on that hill. I'll die on it. Number 9, Crazy Mason, the best closer in the race. And what I was telling Frank was, I think there's a lack of early pace in this race. Because if you look at this, they always put a number here, just in case you didn't know. It's a 0 through 8, 8 being the highest, 8 being wanting to lead the most, early speed 8. S0 is not wanting to lead. This one will be way far behind. But I think if he stays within 7 to 10, right there where those 3 wins came in, he's going to crush them down the stretch. So Patriot Spirit is, like I said, only a 2. And I'm sitting here thinking could default to the lead, but doesn't really run very big. I mean, this Essex at Oaklawn, I won't count because that track was running so fast back then. But I'm just saying, maybe just a +8. That's not even on the lead. So I don't think this horse wants to lead that much. Then you have an EP2, EP5, Baby Yoda. Maybe once in a blue moon will default to the lead, and could happen here. You never know. But I think that I don't see a fast pace set by him ever. No fast paces here, really. Obviously not. Doc Sullivan's a presser. Super Chow, you can see the EP7, but I don't think that Super Chow is that fast out front to set massive fractions. You can see these are just much lesser. They don't even get an early pace figure, but you can see -8, -7, -8, zeros, 2s, 1s. Doesn't really get out there and wants to get out there and set a fast pace. Nash, obviously a presser. Scotland the same. So that's where I get that. Frank, thanks for the comment. Appreciate you as always supporting Billy Ho Sports. Let's build that pick 5 ticket and get out of here. This is what I'm looking at in leg 1. We're hitting that all button. If you recall the turf marathon, then we're singling the 6, which is Phileas Fogg. Then we're going to go 4, 8, 9 for that leg 3. I believe that's race 7. I wasn't sure exactly how I was going to land on that, but I did land with 3 horses. Then we're going to go 6 deep in that third leg, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 8. Because I'm not really sure if the chalky 1, I'm going to try to beat, but I don't want to leave them out. And plus, I had the money because I'm singling the 9 in the last. That's a $90 ticket for $1, so we make half of that, 50 cents, $45 ticket. I may have a few other ideas. Check back Saturday morning for post-scratch adjustments. Make sure you're sub to the channel to get in those future split the pot draws. And obviously leaving a comment will get your name in there. Click that like button on your way out. Winners, contact me by 2 p.m. Saturday. See you soon.